I'm excited to share with you the weirdest sex tip that I may ever share on this channel. We'll see. Hello, you soulful and sexy creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. My name is Jami Lynn. I'm a marriage and family therapist in the Austin area, and I'm excited to share with you the weirdest sex tip that I may ever share on this channel. We'll see. It's not going to surprise you that much when you hear it, but it is a little strange. It's not totally related to sex, but when you hear it, you're going to be like, oh yes, that is true. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because best friends, clients, random people that I meet on airplanes who discover that I'm a sex therapist tell me one of the biggest breaks for them in having sex with their partner who they love and want to have sex with, but one of the biggest breaks is that their breath stinks. Oh. And the reason that they tell me this, and usually in a voice that's a little bit like painful and guilty, is because they cannot tell their partner. They just don't know how to tell their partner in a way that doesn't come across as criticism. And so I hear this literally from hundreds of people now, and I'm making this video as an invitation for you to just consider, hey, maybe this is something that you might want to add to your life so that your sexual relationships, your sexual practice in this lifetime with other people goes a little bit more smoothly. And so the thing that I'm going to share with you is, ta-da, a tongue scraper. If you've never heard of a tongue scraper, you can buy it for like $5 at Whole Foods or any grocery store that's a little bit more leaning towards the crunchy people. You can buy them anywhere. I think the ones that I typically buy, it's Dr. Tongs, Tungs. It's just a stainless steel thing that you use to scrape your tongue with. And what it does is it pulls bacteria and also food particles off of your tongue, and it helps with bad breath. One of the best things about it is it helps with bad breath. I've also spoken to a good friend who is a doctor, and he was explaining that there's a tiny bit of research around how your tongue is actually connected to organs in your body, particularly liver, stomach, all the things that would be intestines, all the things that would be connected to digestion. Our stomach is linked to those parts of our body so that they can communicate what's coming in and what will need to happen to be processed and moved through, which is just fascinating. It also helps you to pull in more nutrients whenever you know whatever's coming in, and you can sense it through taste buds and it's communicated to the rest of your body. It allows you to pull in more nutrients. And so what this doctor was saying is, because of that research, they were just imagining there are many possible benefits to getting old food off of your tongue so that you have more receptors available to taste what's coming online. I say online, but you know what I mean, into for the rest of your system to know what's happening. Total side note though, that's more of a health thing. Really, when I'm thinking about the use of a tongue scraper, my mind goes to two areas. One, as you know, I am a Tantra practitioner. I've been doing Tantra for many years now. And Hatha yoga, the yoga that most people here in the US are practicing today, is actually part of the Tantra lineage. It comes from Tantra. And a sister science to yoga is Ayurveda, which is like a 2,000-year-old system out of India that was the first medical practice that really tailored treatment to the individual. Rather than just having all these treatments that you prescribe to everyone, they would look at the individual, they would look at their body, they would look at what was happening inside of them, and they would prescribe usually food, but sometimes yoga practices to bring them back into health. And so tongue scraping, it comes from Ayurveda, and actually even before that, I believe it is also one of the kriyas. So kriya is a cleansing practice in yoga. It's one of the kriyas for helping your digestive system. And so tongue scraping is thousands of years old. It is something that human beings have been doing to take care of their health for a very long time. And now, maybe think of it as not a sex toy, although in my mind, like that's where my head goes. It's a sex toy. It helps improve your sex life. But no, it's more like a sex amplifier. If you use a tongue scraper day and night, the likelihood that you will have cleaner, fresher breath is going to really, really increase. And with that, if in your relationship, one of the breaks for your partner is bad breath, then that could certainly help. Let's talk a little bit about I feel bad saying this about my partner that happens when people tell me the secret of my partner has bad breath. Nobody wants to hear that, right? It doesn't feel good to hear that you have breath. It's not a pleasant thing to learn, especially from a person you love when they're saying to you, hey, I'd have more sex with you if you would do something about your breath. And sometimes brushing your teeth is not enough. So here's the thing. Human bodies are kind of gross. Being embodied is a little disgusting sometimes whenever you think about it. We basically put things in our mouth, and either it is full of chemicals which are going to affect the way that your system is working, or they are whole foods which are decomposing. And so long as you're healthy and clean and you're eating things that are not rotting, you should be fine. But just think about the fact that whenever you do eat it, time goes by and any particles left in your mouth are going to rot. So, totally normal to have bad breath. Kind of gross to think about, sorry. And if you feel yourself having a little bit of a yuck response as you hear me talking about this, okay, notice that that is totally natural and normal. And just so you know, it is not possible to be in high disgust and arousal at the same time. They have an inverse relationship. So if I'm in high disgust, I am not capable of being in arousal. If I'm in arousal, I would not be in a disgust space. It is possible with some kinds of kink play that they could be a little bit more equal, a little bit of disgust and arousal at the same time. But if it gets too high, then the arousal goes away. And so if you are someone who is feeling really, really bad because you don't want to have sex with your partner when their breath smells unpleasant to you, just know that that is physiologically not possible to override your disgust response. And to the person who maybe has the bad breath, it is not your fault. Being in a body is kind of gross. So what you can do to attempt to optimize clean, fresh breath would be using the tongue scraper. I've been using mine for 10 years, maybe more. I think 10 years. And I love it. Not only do I find that it does actually improve breath and all of that, I can also taste better. Since I started using a tongue scraper, my sense of taste is stronger. My tongue is a pretty pink all the time rather than having white on it, which is unpleasant, especially if you are doing sexual things that include the mouth and you want to look pretty. A pink tongue helps. So that's another reason to use a tongue scraper. But even more than that, there is a little bit that goes in here that's diet as well. So a tongue scraper is a wonderful tool. I really suggest that everybody uses it for the health reasons I've brought up and for the sexy reasons I have brought up in this video. There really is no loss. There's no way that this could go wrong for you. It's only going to benefit you. Just read the instructions, do it correctly, don't scrape too hard, you could hurt your tongue. Obvious things. Diet does play a little bit of a role in all of this. So for people who eat meat, you are going to have a little bit of a different smell to your mouth and body than a person who does not eat meat. And that has a lot to do with the hormones and how long it takes to process meat from mouth to elimination. It just stays in your body a little bit longer than other foods. And so you may consider shifting your diet in that way, moving towards more vegetarian meals on occasion, if that works for you. There's also some lovely environmental and, for some people, moral benefits to shifting towards more vegetarian meals. And then the other thing that can really affect breath would be alcohol. If you are someone who drinks, then having the smell of alcohol in your breath could cause a disgust reaction for another person. And in this case, like, be aware of it. If you know that you're going to drink, but you also intend to initiate sex with your partner, then maybe in between doing those things, take a pause, go do a tongue scraping, and then come back. Okay, I said it was going to be a weird one. It's probably a little weird to think of tongue scraping as a potential benefit to your sex life, but try it out. And even if you're like, no, I don't have this issue, try it out anyway. Again, there is no cost to doing this practice. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it made you laugh and taught you a little something. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you next week.